Hey, hello, wonderful people. Hello, I think I'm audible to you. Good afternoon. Welcome to Cat Ninjas. Let's have another wonderful journey. Hello, everyone. I hope I'm clearly audible. Welcome back. Welcome back. Join me in on this exciting journey. Join me in. Yeah, well, guys, so here we go. Let's get started. Uh, Okay, what we are doing in this particular series, we are trying to look at some of the classic CAT models on LRDI. And of course, all these are at the intermediate level. These are not really at the advanced level. These are kind of sets that we are doing it at intermediate level. So we can't complain saying that, hey, these are difficult ones. Of course not. Any activity while learning sounds little difficult. For example, even if it is swimming, while learning, it appears to be difficult. It is exciting to learn, no doubt about it. When the coach asks you to put your head down and then you have to rotate your head to breathe, etc. Those who know a little bit of swimming will understand what I'm talking. It's very painful, right? We all go through that painful experience of gulping some water through the nose, or through the mouth, all of that, and then we kind of learn that swimming, that is when it turns out to be exciting, right? Pretty similar here. While we are trying to learn this, we will have the more or less similar kind of feeling out here, right? So it might sound in the beginning that, hey, it is looking a little awkward. The things are looking little difficult. But then yes, after learning, trust me, these are not the difficult sets at all. What we're doing, these are pretty classical ones and must do ones, right? I never recommend or advise doing very easy LRDI kind of sets and take thinking that, okay, I'm doing a fantastic job. No, that could be true if we are preparing for exams like NMAT and SNAP, and definitely not for CAT. Great. All right. So on this note, let's start this exciting journey every day, Monday to Saturday at 2 o'clock. You can find me here on YouTube channel or one of the channels. You can find me there for DILR and Quant at 10 in the night. This is what we are doing every day at 2 and as well as at 10. To quickly understand the credentials, yeah, I worked with various test prep firms in the past since 2007. I worked in various capacities, which is kind of evident there. And then during that point in time, I developed a kind of expertise in training students on QA, DI, and LR. Right, so that's briefly about me. And if you'd like to speak to me, you can ping me at this, or you can leave it in the comments of any of these videos. I will definitely come back and I will comment back. I will respond back to them. So if there is something to be discussed, yeah, it looks pretty awkward, this particular link for Telegram channel. Yeah, but for the time being, you can use this to interact with me. Before we get on to the lecture, let me quickly do some announcements and then we'll go on. If you're looking for a structured program, yes, it makes sense to buy either a plus subscription or iconic subscription. The difference being in the iconic subscription, you also get the personal guidance, the study planning. Somebody will sit with you, analyze your SWOT, and we kind of do things out there, right? So that becomes much more structured one. Non-structured one would definitely help the people, those who are kind of already know the subject. They're looking for just a value addition. But yes, if you're learning, the structured courses will always help. And that is what I also kind of look at. If you're following my QA lectures, you kind of understand it. Okay. Coming to the plus subscription. So these are the fees for the subscription fees. And you get 10% discount on this if you buy through the code Belvi 100, right? Any of this, whatever be the prices quoted, you get 10% discount on this. It can be iconic subscription as well. So whenever at the Unacademy platform, it asks for a code, you can always use this particular code, right? Yeah. Great. Glad to have you guys here. I can see some comments from Stuti, Shrijan, Fayaz, and Keval. Glad to have you guys. So we'll get started. So I will give you a couple of minutes as usual. So I give 3 minutes, 3 minutes for you to read the sets, maybe 3 to 4 minutes, because that's important. This is not a piecemeal kind of reading. You got to completely read it, comprehend, and then retain some information before take 3 minutes. It's worth taking the 3 minutes so that we will have the next 30, 40 minutes of exciting learning. So take these 3 minutes. So in these 3 minutes, what I want you to do, one, you understand. I want you to understand what the data is about and try to retain some pieces of information, not just understanding. I also recommend you that, hey, you kind of retain some information. That's important there. Number one. Number two, read questions as well, because that always tells the author's expectation. It sets the expectation. Even in the CAT for kind of a paper, you will find a box like this, right? On one side, you will have this entire data here, say the table, graph, whatever it is, you will have a data, and you will have coming one question coming at a time. There is always a previous button, there is a next button. Click on this next button, read the second question, read the third question, read at least about 3 questions to understand what is author's expectation out here. I mean, this is something I want you to do. That's a number two there. After reading the question, if you want to let now tackle one of those particular question, identify which can be the easiest of the question. Initially it is difficult because you will not be able to understand which question is easy, which is better to do. But with experience, you will understand that which is the low hanging fruit and which is the high hanging fruit. You will understand that. Right? Some of them would be low hanging fruits, which we need to tackle in the beginning. Right? Keep this orientation in your mind, and let me give you those solid 3 minutes there, undisturbed 3 minutes. Focus, sit with that attention and do it, and keep a pen and a book. I'm sure already most of you do this. But if you are just watching it, don't do it for the sake of watching it. Let's have the right attitude towards learning. Keep a book and a pen. Always keep a book and a pen, or a right notepad and a pen. Whatever it is a good combination to keep. If you exhibit right attitude towards learning, naturally will improve, right? Yeah, attitude matters. Fair enough. Let's go here. So I'm opening the first set for you. So all set. So here we go. One of the cat sets. About 3 minutes of your time, undisturbed time of 3 minutes. Try and see what best you can do in these 3 minutes. Okay, all right, guys. This is time. Let's do it together. I hope all of you got sufficient time to read and comprehend. All right, let's do this journey together. This is not the difficult set at all, right? This is not the difficult one at all. This is kind of an intermediate level set, medium level, what we technically call it. Right, let's take a look at this. First paragraph is a very generic information wherein it is clearly stated that there is a person or there is a coach. In fact, I think John Buchanan was actually one of the coaches India had, I guess. Yeah, so sat with the scorecards of Indian players for the from the three games in one day cricket tournament where the same set of players played for India in that particular tournament, and all major batsmen got out. All right. So then it is also mentioned. So he's analyzing the top three players. Basically, this data gives the top three players. There may be 11 people who would have batted. I don't know how many people batted in all this. Keval will understand that. I will understand that. The second paragraph is the technical. So now these are called as local information. This is what CAT tests us to understand. Every time they don't go by what we know. Sometimes they kind of go by the basics remain same, but what does it mean? The whole set is based on this paragraph, right? This is the second paragraph is the key. So that is where people fail to interpret, and that's what we are trying to understand today. That has been the objective of this particular question for today, right? Okay, let's take a look at this. So then what happened? All I know, he sat down. So now he looked at the top three batsmen and what is the percentage score that is scored by the top three batsmen that has been given to us, which means there might be many people who would have batted in that particular innings, whether all 11 batted, we don't know. So many people would have batted. What he did, all right, for example, when the India played against a Pakistan in the tournament, what he did is what are the top three scorers? Virender scored 130. Cape scored 28, Yuvraj scored 40. That comprises of, that makes it to 90% of the India's total score, which means if I add up these three numbers, 130 plus 40, 170 plus 28, 198. 198 is 90% of India's total score. Now you may wonder who scored the remaining 10%. I have no idea. All the remaining batsmen together scored the remaining 10%. Or there may be only one batsman who might have scored, something like that. Okay, that is the whole idea of this. First, let's understand only this piece of information and construct the table. All right, let's understand. Let's construct the table. Let us not worry about M index and R index, these technical jargons. I will come to these technical jargons. First, let's understand what is this data. Two parts. Part one is what is this data? What does this transfer to? I already explained this. What is this particular data? Let me go to an explanation slide and let me help you to understand, tabulate this result. Then we'll come to this technical jargons. This is M index, R index. He locally defined it. There is nothing called a M index. Is it a standard term should be used? Nothing like that. Is R index a standard term to be used? Nothing like that, right? So it is just an information. He defined it. Local definitions he has given. What does these local definitions mean and what the question mean? We will see it in a while. Before that, let's not clutter it completely. We'll make it a piecemeal. First, we will try and see that what does these graphs mean to us. If I were to convert it quickly into the table, what does it mean? Okay, against Pakistan here. Against Pakistan, I wrote the numbers. K for 28, I wrote it here. Yuvraj 40, I wrote it here. Virender 130, I wrote it here. Fine, I tabulated the result. Okay, now I'm interested in the other two players. You may say that, sir, aren't there 11 players? Names I don't know. So how do I write all 11 players there? I can only do the maximum minimum of these 5 players because John Ballard, coach itself, himself is analyzing the scores of these 5 players. So why I should bother beyond these 5 players? Therefore, I wrote these 5 players. I'm looking for some maximum and minimum for this. Okay, I added these numbers. 130 plus 40, 170, 198. Listen to the calculation. 198 means 198 is nothing but 90% of the total score. Let us say T is the total score here. T is the total score they scored against Pakistan. 90%, middle number, 90% of the total score. Therefore, what would be the remaining 10% of the total score? Divide both sides by 9. So I'm writing 10% of the total score, which means what is that others have scored? I'm interested in that. 10% of the total score is nothing but 22. 10% of the total score is 22. All of we know how to do that. 90% of the total means 198. Therefore, 10% of the total means how much? Total cancel. You will write that 10%. You will cancel this 10 one time, 10 9 time, and you got this as 22, which means 22 is the deficit. If I add this 22, it gives me the total. 220 was the total score. We know how to do this calculation. I'm not focusing much on this calculation. This is not the idea of this particular set. Okay. Nevertheless, this is what it is. Total is 122. Deficit deficit is 22, which means still there is a deficit of 22, which is possible that Rahul might have scored 0 runs, but up to 22 runs. Is it possible that all these 22 runs are scored by Rahul? Is R stands for Rahul? Let me confirm. What is R here? R stands for Rahul. Oh, okay, because let me not take the wrong names. Yeah. Okay. Or Rahul already exists. Rahul might have scored 0 runs also. Rahul might have scored all 22 runs also. Possible, because 22 is the deficit. And another one important statement told by them was these three are the top three scores. Listen very carefully. The outer one, right? In each diagram, the three outer triangles communicate the number of runs scored by the top scorers. In the sense, nobody can score more than 28 here, because this is look at this. This is the first top score, second top score, and this is the third top score. So I have to write a number for Rahul bit less than 28. I wrote it. Yeah, can I make it 28 also? You can't make it 28. Why? Where it is given here, no two players scored the same number of runs in the same game, which means when I look at Pakistan, against Pakistan, no two players scored the same number of runs. Fair enough. Okay, let's put it to perspective. Therefore, we are saying that Rahul might have scored 0 to 22. It is also possible that Saurav might have scored 0 to 22. No, can you say that hey, both of them might have scored 0 runs? Possible, because there are another players. They together might have scored those 22 runs. But I am interested in the data for these 5 people out here. Right, these are the 5 people I'm interested in. Fair enough. So therefore we got these numbers 0 to 22. Rahul's least score against Pakistan, 0. Rahul's highest score can be 22. Similarly, Saurav's least score, 0. Saurav's highest score, 22. Right, Saurav's highest score, 22. So we kind of understood this. Let's do the same thing for the other calculations as well. Now this is the calculation for Pakistan. Now let me go to South Africa. Let's say that the total score against South Africa is T. Total score against South Africa be T. Tape scored 51. I recorded the data. Tape 51. Saurav 17. Saurav 75. Rahul 49. Which means let's understand. They say what are these particular scores put together? 175. This is 175. Corresponds to how much? 70%. 175 runs means 75% of the total. Sorry, 70% of the total. So let me calculate first what is 10% of the total. Life is easy with 10% to start with. What is 10% of the total? And then I will make it remaining 30% from there. Hey, what will be 10% of the total? The 10% of the total is nothing but 25 runs. 10% will be 25 runs. Simple calculation. 70% corresponds to 175 runs. Therefore, 10% corresponds to how much? Divide simply both sides by 7. You get this. Okay, but then deficit is how much? 30%, because only 70% has been scored. I'm not interested in 10%. I'm interested in 30% of the total. What is 30% of the total? 75. Therefore, what is the total score? 175 plus 75, 250. Total score is 250. Total is 250. What is the deficit out of this? The deficit is 75. If I get the deficit as 75, can I say that Virender scored 0 to 75? Virender scored 0 to 75. No. If I write 0 to 75, I'll be wrong. You may wonder why. Because these are the top 3 scores. This is the best score against South Africa. This is the second best score. 51 is the second best score against South Africa. 49 is the third best score. How Virender can score 75 runs? He can't score 75 runs. What can be the maximum score of Virender? 48. 48, because 49 is the third best score. 49 is the third best score. Therefore, Virender can score up to 48 runs. Up to 48, because no two of them scored the same number of runs. No two players scored the same number of runs in the same game. Therefore, up to 48 it is possible. 0 to 48. Come to this. What about Yuvraj? Yuvraj also might have scored 0 to 48. This guy also might have scored 0 to 48. That's against the South Africa. Do the similar calculation for Australia. Let's now go shift our attention to Australia. Total. Shift our attention to Australia. So I've recorded these numbers 55, 87, 50. They are here. 55, 50 and 87. These numbers are here. Add them together. That becomes 80% of the total. Author says that is 80% of the total. 80% of the total is how much? Therefore, let's add up these numbers. 105. 192. 80% of the total is 192. I can calculate what is 10% of the total by dividing both sides by 8. Therefore, 8 2 times 16, and then you have 32. 8 4 times 32. So therefore, 10% of the total is 42, but I want 20% the deficit, because after 80%, what is the deficit here? 20% is the deficit. 20% of the total therefore would become 48. 48 is the deficit. What is the total therefore? The total is nothing but 240. This plus this. 240. If I'm interested in the total, it is 240. Deficit is 48 out of this. Deficit is 48. Now, can I say that Virender can score 0 to 48? Yes. Why? Because what is the third largest number, third small largest number here? 50. So 48 is less than 50. Therefore, 0 to 48 is possible. 0 to 48 is possible. Okay, now this is the data he tried to explain in the first paragraph. Meaning of the first paragraph I explained so far. I haven't gone to the second paragraph. This is the meaning of the first paragraph. All right, there is a comment here. Deficit runs will be shared among the remaining two players, not necessarily Keval among the two players. It's a team of 11 players. He is analyzing the 5 players. It is not shared among the 2 players. All right, read the first paragraph carefully. Comprehension is important. Read the first paragraph carefully. It never said that these are the only 5 people who batted for that country. Right? There are many people. All 11 might have batted. So therefore, it is possible that Virender might have scored 0. Kaif also might have scored 0. I am only doing maxima minima. I am finding the upper limit and the lower limit. In this match against Australia, is it possible that both Kaif and Virender scored 0 and some other player scored this 48 runs? Possible. I am not denying that fact. Okay, we need to understand the data very carefully. Comprehension, that's what we mean by comprehension. They always call it as data interpretation. It is never data calculation in CAT. It is interpretation. That is what the test. Fair enough. So that is the interpretation so far. All right, guys, are you with me? The first paragraph is over. Give me a thumbs up. Is this clear? Keval's query is clear. Very good. Others, clear? Is this clear? Quickly notify me if it's clear. Put something in the comments. Put something in the chat. Notify this. It's good because half job done. Now starts the actual job. Okay, Stuti is clear. Mohit is clear. Okay, Mohit is joined. Good. Mohit is clear. Fayaz, are you there? Karan? Yeah. All right. Any which ways. All right. Let's get started. All right. Let's go to the second paragraph. Now, very critical aspect. Listen to this very carefully. Let's take a composition of questions also. Beautiful way. See, this is what we mean by being completely alert or expectation management. We should know. But if you're a veteran, in the sense like you practiced enough, you will understand and know these things very automatically. Look at the questions here. How well balanced they would become. Look at the questions. Among the players mentioned, who can have the lowest R index? There are two technical terms, right? He introduced two technical terms. One is R index. The other one is M index. He introduced two technical terms there. Other one is M index. One technical term here, second technical term here. Look at his questions as well. How carefully the authors are designing CAT set. They're very beautiful, very meticulous most of the time. The design of the questions when you see. Among the players mentioned, who can have the lowest R index? First question is on R index. Second question is on M index. If you look at the third question, definitely scored how many players? Leave the third question here, leave it. Let's look at the fourth question. It talks about M index. In the sense, the questions are balanced in such a way that there are some questions on M index, there would be some questions on R index, right? So even therefore, what I'm trying to tell, even if you crack one part of it, you will be in a better position to deal with it. Even if you crack one part of it, which means say I didn't understand both the definitions, R index and M index. Sometimes in DI, even if you understand one portion of it, M index I understood, write the M index, you will be able to do it. All right, you will be able to answer two questions. Let me do M index. You may wonder, sir, why you are doing M index? Why not R index? Similarly, in the exam, that is what I precisely do. If there are two questions on M index, I will shift my attention to M index first because majority seems to be there. There is one question on R index, and after quickly reading this, I don't understand much about this. Therefore, I say that, hey, I will shift my attention to M index first, and I will put my effort behind M index to start with. That is how you kind of start working on this particular part. Fine. Let us shift our attention to M index. Let's read the definition of M index. Let's write the definition of M index. The M index is the middle number. M index is the middle number if his scores, which means if the score of a player are arranged in a non-increasing order. Non-increasing order means not an ascending order. Increasing order means what? Ascending order. Don't write them in the ascending order. M index is nothing but the middle number when his three scores are arranged in the non-increasing order. Let me explain this to you. Let me quickly explain this to you. What does this mean to us? Let me take one of these particular players to start with. Let us say, let me take the first player, Kaif itself. Let me write the M index for Kaif. Okay, now there is a match with Australia. South Africa, and Pakistan. Let me use one of these numbers. Let me start with Australia. Australia, then I will write Pakistan, then I will write South Africa. Now listen very, very carefully, because once you understand, the rest of them is very, very simple. You can write the index for all of them with less than a minute. Okay, Australia, let us say that Cape scored 0 runs because it's possible 0 to 48, 0 runs. So let me write it Australia on this side to start with. And let me write South Africa here, because non-increasing order I should write. Say South Africa 51 runs. Australia, you assume that he scored 0 runs. Possible, right? 0 runs. In that case, Pakistan static number 28. This is called as a non-increasing order. In the non-increasing order, what is the M index for this? Let me write the M index. The M index is 28, the middle number. That is what he said. When you write the 3 scores scored by that person in the non-increasing order, right, the middle number is called as the M index. I wrote the M index. You may wonder, sir, why it should be taken 0? Take 1, man. What is the next number? 1. 0 to 48. There are 49 cases. 0 cases there, 48 cases also there. How many cases are there? 49 cases are there. Should I write all 49 cases? Yes, you should think about all 49 cases, right? First case I thought 0. Australia, with 1 run he scored. Against Australia, let us assume that Cave scored 1 run, and he scored 51 runs against South Africa, and he scored 28 runs against Pakistan. Therefore, what is the middle? What is M index? Middle number still 28 here. Likewise, let's say I will write up to 27. All right, now let's say I will write up to 27 here. Let me what 0 to 48. I'm going. I wrote 3, 4 like this up to 27. When I go to 27, Pakistan still 28. This would become 51. M index is still 28. Okay, next number. What if I make Australia 28, sir? Fine. Pakistan 28, and this is 51. M index, the middle number is what? 28. You may say that which number I should write in the middle? Write anything there. He said non-increasing order. Non-increasing order doesn't mean decreasing order. It's a non-increasing order. Is this a non-increasing order? Yes. All right, that's the word it is used there. He used the word non-increasing order. We need to understand non-increasing order doesn't mean decreasing order, right? So next number will not be higher. So you wrote the M index as 28. Now you will say that, sir, what if against Australia now he scores 29? If he scores 29, start writing Australia in between, right? Pakistan this side, right? South Africa here, because after 28, next you are saying that Australia he will score 29 runs. Fair enough. Then against Pakistan 28 runs, it will come and sit here, right? Against South Africa he scored 51. Therefore, what is his M index? 29. His M index, the middle number has become 29. Like this, against Australia, he can score 30 also, because 30 also exists between 0 to 48. So you write 51 here, 28 here, therefore it becomes 30. Like this, till where I can write till 48, because the upper limit is 48. 48, 51, 28. Therefore it becomes 48. So now look at this table. From where to where you are writing? 28 to 48 you are writing. M index can be 28, 28, 28, 28. Then it became 29, it became 30, dot, 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 it went up to 48. Therefore, you say that the M index for cave can be 28 to 48. That is the M index for this person. All right, it will be 28 to 48. That's all right, Aman. That's all right. That's all right. No need to feel sorry, buddy. That's all right. Yeah. But catching up will be difficult for you. Suddenly now you read because you didn't read the set, right? So that's a problem with the DILR. If you join in between, it's a pain. It's a pain. Okay, any which ways. So this is how you find the M index. Let me do for another player. Listen to me carefully. 2 players I will do meticulously, because this is what you need to understand. Next time onwards, you will not write all this story. Next time you will not write all this story. I will do for another player, then we will summarize. So whom we will do? We will do for Rahul. So Rahul is very easy. Let's not do for Rahul. Let's not do for Saurabh. Saurabh is also easy. Let us do for Yuvraj. Let's do for Yuvraj. Let's do for tougher guys, because that's easy. Rahul, Saurav, these are very easy there. So it doesn't make sense. So you will write it in 2 seconds. Right? Let's do for Yuvraj, because that if you understand for Yuvraj, then rest of it is done. Let's go to Yuvraj. All right. So what happened to the Yuvraj? His best score is coming in Australia. I will write in the first column. Australia, his best score is coming there. Right? And then Pakistan can be second best score. Against Pakistan, he might have scored the second best. And then probably the third, all it now could be against South Africa to start with. Let me explain this. Pay attention, my friends. Pay attention to Yuvraj. We are at Yuvraj. Pay attention to Yuvraj, everybody. Let's say Australia 87, best score, non-increasing order I'm writing. Pakistan 40. South Africa, it could be 0, because 0 to 48 is there. I write 0. Therefore, what is the M index? 40. You are writing the M index as 40. Now let's go there. South Australia, second case I'm writing. How many cases I should write? 0 to 48. 0 to 48, there will be 49 cases I should be writing there. So second case I'm writing. South Africa 1. So Pakistan is still 40 because it's a static number. Therefore, what is the M index? Like this? You keep writing like this till 39. At some stage against South Africa, he will score 39 runs. Fair enough. So when he scores 39, 87, and there is 40, his M index will be still 40. Great, M index is 40. Next number. Okay, what if this becomes 40 here? 87, 40, and 40. M index will be still 40. M index is still going to be 40. Next, what happens? You may say that, hey sir, this time South Africa, what he scores more than that, because up to 48, 40 is done. Again, South Africa, he may score 41. Then Pakistan will be shifted to the other side. 40 is shifted here. Australia will become 87. Therefore, now you say that his M index has become 41 because this has become the middle number. Like this, till where the South Africa score can go, it can go up to 48. It can go up to 48, 87, 48, 40. Therefore, you say that this can go up to 48. Now, take a look at these particular numbers. So, what are the M indexes? 40, 40, 40, 40, which means 40, then 41, like this up to 48. Therefore, you are saying that M index for Euraj can be 40 to 48. M index for Euraj can be 40 to 48. 40 is possible, 41 is possible, like this up to 48 is possible. Now, let's understand this. How can I do this faster? I explained the concept. Is this what I do in the exam? Of course not. This is an understanding, right? I'm teaching you. It's an understanding. While teaching quadratic equation, right, in the 7th standard or 8th standard, they will teach quadratic equation, already know one particular method, how to factorize the equation itself. They will teach for 3 months. 3 months. That's the thing. Again, 7th, 8th standard, they do revision like that. I taught you. But is this what you expected to do? Of course not. If we do this, we are creating a nonsense in the paper. Of course not. All right. Therefore, how do I look at this particular chart and write these particular numbers? Let's go back to Euraj. Let's go back to Euraj itself. Let's see the Euraj itself. Now see, 0 to 40. Now break this number. 0 to 48. Simply break this number 0 to 48 as the second least number that you can see is 40. 0 to 40 is one case. Then 41 to 48 is another case. Simple. All right, 41 to 48 is another case. Therefore, you say that middle number can be 48. When it is 0 to 40, the middle number would remain 40 because the upper limit will be 87. Okay. When it is 41 to 48, when it is 41 to 48, this will be the middle number because this 40 shifts above. All right, this 87 shifts below. This is the mental map. Therefore, you are saying that the middle number can be 40 or 41 to 48. Therefore, you simply write it 40 to 48. Coming to K, I'm just explaining this. This is what I wanted you to get it there. Okay, coming to the K here, there is 0 to 48. Break it 0 to 48. 0 to 48, I will break this. So I look at the second least number. Best number remains best number. Don't worry about it. Right. So here the 28 here. So you say that up to 28, 0 to 28. 0 to 28. The middle number would remain Pakistan score, which is 28. Middle number would remain the score of Pakistan. The best number would remain 51. Therefore, this is the middle number. Okay, then for 29 to 48. From 29 to 48. Why 29? Because after 28 of this score, the next score is 29. After 29, you say that, okay, the Pakistan score 28 shifts above. Right, and then you will be writing 51. Therefore, 28 and then 29 to 48. You write this 28 to 48. I hope you kind of understood this. If not, please go back and listen to this video once again. Now I'm writing the other two numbers. Now I'm quickly writing the other two numbers on this. Let's write it. Let's write it for Rahul. Let's write it. Rahul, let's write it. 0 to 22. Therefore, this always remains the middle number. Static 49. There is no range. There is no range. That's what I said for Rahul. It's very, very easy. 49. That is it. 49 for Rahul. For Saurav, all right, now 0 to 22. This is the smallest number. The middle number always remains 50. Middle number always remains 50. Fair enough. All right. Yeah. For Yuvraj, for Virender, can you tell me the middle number, guys? Can you tell me the middle number for Virender? Can you tell me the middle number for Virender? Quick. For Virender, put it in the chat. If you do this, you won the race. Job is done. Very good. Keval is right. Mohit, you are also right. 0 to 48. Beautiful. 0 to 48. Right? 0 to 48. All right. If you just want me to explain, all right, it might look something like this quickly. Good. Stuti also got it. 0 to 48. Fair enough. Then if you all got this, all right, there is no need to explain that as well. Right? Okay. So done. All right. We won this particular race. Now, two questions on M index. See, we did half the job. Did we understand anything about R index so far? We have not understood anything about R index so far, but my two questions are done. See, this is what you mean by trying to understand how the questions will look. See, you might have said that, sir, I didn't understand M index, R index only today. Correct. Therefore, you will fail to understand the question composition also. There were two questions built on M index. You will fail to notice this, but with experience, all right, once you develop certain expertise in the next 100 days, what happens? You will be able to notice, because if I am able to notice with my experience, you will also be able to notice, right? We all will be able to notice. If I know swimming, you know swimming, we'll understand the nuances of swimming, something like that. Today I know this, all that, how these people set the create the set. I am orienting you. From tomorrow you will also know this. Oh, this is the orientation I should keep in mind. I'm not saying that hard and fast in every set this will be true, but can I notice this when there were two questions on M index? Can I at least go ahead and find out M index first and kill these two questions, even if I don't understand R index? That is what the intention should be. That should be kind of clear to us. All right, let's take a look at this. Therefore, let's take a look at this question. Question number 2, let's look first. Which of the players had the best M index in the tournament? All right, best M index. What can be the best for K? 48. What can be the best for Rahul? 49. Best for Saurav? 50. Best for Virender. I'm taking the best for everybody to check, because who the player can have the best, had the best. 48 and 48. What is the best number? Naturally 50 for Saurav. 50 for Saurav. Naturally it is 50 for Saurav. Simple, straightforward question. Because you understood how to write the M index, you will get your answer, right? You will get your answer. Fair enough. Let's go to the second question now. Second question. All right, that's nothing but question number 4. Another question on M index. That's here. Question number 4, another question on M index. For how many Indian players is it possible to calculate exact M index? You tell me, friends, answer. Quick, quick. For how many Indian players, among the given Indian players, for how many of them it is possible to calculate the exact M index? Of course, two of them, 49 and 50, because this is the range. This is the range and this is the range. How do I know what is the exact number? Exact number cannot be understood. Range can be understood. Fair enough. Therefore, 2. That is the answer there. Okay. Now tell me that, isn't it easy? Was it difficult? The M index was difficult. You tell me. It is only till we understand things are difficult, right? Once we understand, they are actually not. And we need to practice at that level. No point trying to understand some pie chart, all calculation given. Who is going to give that question in CAT? Like, you don't expect that question. One set may come that anyway will rock it. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. You understood, is the M index, all of you understood. Now let's go to R index story. M index story is clear. Say yes, no. Quick, quick. Is the story of M index clear? Which means the understanding of M index was clear. It's a local definition. It is not any global definition. It's a local definition. Okay. All right. Aman, there is no choice, Aman. Aman, you are saying that how do we think at this level during the exam? If we train ourselves, we'll be able to think, right? Mind is also another muscle. We just have to train our mind. That's it. So how you train, that is up to us. So I rather suggest that we have to train at the adequate level. For example, when we go to gym, right? So we have to train. Sometimes we train our biceps, we train our back, we train our triceps, we train our, whatever, the muscles on the leg, all of that. It's up to us. You want to train only with the 2 kg dumbbell, keep training for years. Nothing much will happen there, right? But you want to lift 12 kg dumbbell, that's up to us how you want to train. Mind is also another muscle. Please remember this, right? Mind is not anything. It's a very powerful muscle in the body, controls a lot of things, no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, it is a muscle, right? So it's up to us how you want to train. So you want to train it with very light reading, then that is what your RC skills will become. But if I want to train with intense training, initially it will give up. It says that, man, I want to give up. But you will say that, bloody don't give up, all right, let's do that. It will go up. That's it, right? Now, why give up or go up is the choice that we have. Don't give up, go up. That should be the choice. Push yourself, right? It's a muscle. So it's another muscle. That's it. For me, mind is another muscle with proper training. Already intense training, intentional training at a certain level will be able to take it to that particular level. That is it. So at some stage, we have to give the training to the muscle, and it starts reading at that level, understanding at that level, comprehending at that level, opening the logic at that level. It happens there. It's as simple as that. Fair enough. Okay, treat it as another muscle, guys. That's it. It's not anything special. For me, it is not anything special. Special in the sense, yes, central nervous system already no roots there. It's special in that sense. Otherwise, at the end of the day, it's another muscle. We can train that muscle also. If I can train my biceps and triceps and back muscles, naturally we can train our mind muscle also. Okay, that's my point. Coming to R index. All right, Keval, what is that you are trying to say? Okay, Keval, all right. That's on the lighter note. Your comment is much on the simple. Okay, understood. It's just a comment. I thought that you were asking me something. Now coming to the R index, all of you, listen. This was all right. Now R index, listen, let's understand this definition. John also calculated, okay, before I do the R index, let me quickly share it with you what is coming up. What is coming up tonight at 10? We'll be doing the time, speed, distance, and we will talk about the linear races, which is CAT's favorite. Alright, this is CAT's favorite. Races is very, very favorite. More than circular races, CAT's favorite is linear races. You find loads of question on linear races for some reason, and we will spend about an hour to understand the nuances involved in linear races tonight. And then tomorrow I'll be doing three lectures, three live ones. Of course, as usual, 2 and 10 is DILR and this. But at 5, I will also be telling, because some of you keep thinking at this point in time, how many hours per day or per week one should study for CAT. That's one of the questions we will have. Let's discuss this point because the countdown has begun. So far, it was a counting up. Right now, the counting down, which means like we'll start saying that, hey, 103 day, 2 days are left, 101 day, 100 days. Like this, you will keep changing on your board in front of your study room, right? On the study room, you have written the days, you will keep changing it. From 3 digits, it suddenly enters 2-digit number. All right, suddenly, all right, then you feel that pressure, right? Till the time it is a 3-digit number, when it was 150 days, pressure is different. Coming to closer to 100, it is still a 3-digit number in the mind. The moment it ticks into a 2-digit number, the pressure is different. Because when I write the exams also, I feel from 3-digit number to 2-digit number, again the lower spectrum of 2-digit number, things change. So therefore, already the typical question could be how many hours one should spend. That's one of the questions keep running on people's mind, right? Yeah, so let's address that question tomorrow at 5. So my perspective I will share with you. It might help, definitely help some of you. So that's what we will do tomorrow evening. And the day after tomorrow, yes, again as usual, 2 and 10 I'm there with the same kind of lectures. But again at 5, all right, we will do another interesting one: how to score better in mock tests. Here comes another season of mock tests, right? Because this is the time you have to keep attempting the mock. Come September, it's a time to write the mocks. If you don't fail mock, if you don't write the mocks, we fail for sure. Definitely we are destined to fail unless we are the magical kids or we are the God's gift to mankind, right? Some kids are God's gift to mankind. So we know them. Such kids, they don't have to do anything. They can directly walk into the CAT and they can always get the top honors, right? But others, they're only God's gift to mankind. Others have to struggle to get there. So one important parameter that comes in the month of September is mock CATs. From September, if anybody doesn't take seriously about the mock CATs, they don't put this calendar in place, they are planned to do, which means they don't get the desired percentile for sure, right? Okay, so we'll discuss about that on Sunday on Saturday at 5. Friday and Saturday, block your time, that particular time. So we'll have some interesting conversation there. Fair enough. Coming back to the lecture, let's now come back to the R index. Let's come back to the R index. What is this he's trying to say? Well, he's saying the R index of a batsman is the difference between his highest and the lowest score in 3 games put together. Difference between the highest and the lowest score, range. R index is symbolic of range. By now, somebody might have got the thought. M index is a symbolic of median. That's what I was trying to say. Author gave appropriate names for us to connect. We could not connect is a different issue. When he was talking about M index, the way he explained M index, it is an indicative. It is a symbolic of, hey, median is what I'm talking about. R index means I'm talking about the range. Range means what? The difference between the highest number and the lowest number is called as the range. Now listen to me very, very carefully. Listen to me very, very carefully. Let R index again has the maxima and minima. Oh, is R index also having the maxima minima? Yes. Let's take a look at this. Let's go back to CAFE once again. Let's go back to CAFE once again. I will remove the M index for now. I will just remove the M index because I think the story of M index is over. Right, with this the story of M index is over. I don't need this M index anymore. I don't need this M index anymore. The story of M index is over. So let us focus only on the R index. I removed it. Okay, coming to the R index, let us calculate for CAFE. So let's calculate R index for CAFE. Let's calculate R index for CAFE. Now look at this. So it is, let's take Australia again. So many cases are there. From Australia perspective only, we will calculate Australia 0 runs. South Africa is the upper limit. South Africa upper limit, which is 51. Therefore, what is R index? All right, therefore R index is 51. R index means difference between the bigger number and the smaller number. I am first explaining the definition. It becomes 51. Okay. What if again coming to Australia, I'm taking Australia as the primary key. What if he scores 1 run here? What if he scores 1 run against Australia? Fine, in that case, all right, South Africa will still remain. The upper limit is 51. That's the best number. It becomes 50. What if Australia is 2? Again, this is 51. It becomes 49, which means R index can be 51. R index can be 50, R index can be 49, just like we had different numbers for M index. For R index also, I have different numbers. That's a point out here. All right, I have different numbers for R index as well. Like this, I went on and on and on. I went up to 28. You may say, why 28? Because there is a 28 for Pakistan. I stopped at 28, let us say. When I stop at 28, all right, I will write 51 here. 51 to 28, all right, that has become 23. The deficit is 23. From here, you will say that, sir, what about I make this 29? So which means Australia, I'll make it 29. If you make Australia 29, if you make Australia 29, knock it off. Now bring forth so Pakistan, because Pakistan becomes smaller number, and then South Africa will remain 51. So the moment Australia becomes 29, come shift your attention to Pakistan. Pakistan becomes the smaller number. Now you write 28. Don't write 29 minus 51. Wrong. 28 minus 51, which becomes 23. This always 28 minus 51. Fair enough. So therefore you say that the R index can be as low as 23 and as high as 51. So that is what you are saying, that R index, minimum value of R index is 23 per case, and the maximum value of R index can be 51. I don't know what is the actual R index. It can be 51 also, it can be 50 also, it can be 49 also, but it can be as small as 23 as well. So that is for the cave. I don't have one number, right? I did the difference, because what is that difference between the two numbers I should record, but I'm able to record multiple numbers. So this is what I kind of recorded it here. Right? Okay. Let's now go back to another player. Let's just go back to another player and record the R index quickly. Right? Record the R index quickly. Let's go to Uraj, because let me do for the tougher nuts. Others are easy, right? Others would become easy. Let me teach you the tougher nuts only, because once we unlock it, very similar explanation what I gave before. Okay. Australia. I will write Australia, which is the maximum for Uraj. Right, and then on the other side, I will write South Africa to start with. I will write South Africa. I'm analyzing Uraj, my friends. I'm analyzing Uraj now. Right, so when Uraj scored 0 against South Africa, here 0 to 48, can Uraj score 0? Yeah. Then against Australia, he would score 87. So what is the R index now? 87. Difference between 0 and 87. Okay, what if he scores 1 run? He'll score 87 against Australia, because this is the best. This is the best for Uraj. So it would become 86. Likewise, I keep going till 40, let us say, till 40. When this is 40, Australia 87, therefore the difference would now become 47. All right, that would become 47. Fair enough. Then I will say that I will make this 41. Hang on, if you make this 41, for Pakistan it is 40, man. For Pakistan it is 40. The moment you say that South Africa becomes 41, the case fails. Now what you will do? In that case, automatically it becomes Pakistan. Pakistan 40, therefore Australia 87. The difference becomes 47. And hence you are saying that, hey, it is as minimum as 47 and the gap can be as wider as 87. Therefore you say that 47 to 87. Can you give me a quick confirmation that yes, it is making sense to you? Is this making sense? Is it making sense? I made an effort to explain this. R index is clear. Then the questions we can answer. Can I assume that the R index is clear? Table is clear. Okay. Well, you already gave the answer also. Yeah, sure, Rashik, hang on. All right, I will make that video list. I will make that. I will make it and share. Sure. For now, you can give Cat Ninjas. For now, if you want to search my lectures, I am branding it under Cat Ninjas, right? So you can just give it as Cat Ninjas Unacademy. All right, Cat Ninjas Unacademy or Cat Ninjas 1.0. Just do this, because we are doing the first version. After some time, I will launch the second version. Right? Yeah, Cat Ninjas 1.0. You do it, all my lectures will come. Okay, great. All right. Fair enough. So now let's go to the other players now. R index for the other player. Let us write. R index for the other player is. So let me write for the other players. Should I do all this drama here? No, you will not do this. So look, let's go for the Rahul and let's learn to write directly. Rahul's least score can be as small as 0, and the best is as good as 55. Therefore, the best value of R index is 55. His another least score could be 22. It can go 0, 1 to up to 22, and then this would remain 55. Therefore, it becomes 33, and hence you are saying that this becomes 33 to 55. Very similar explanation that I gave. All right, 33 to 55. Okay, now let's go to Saurabh. Let's go to Saurabh. Can anybody tell me what is it for Saurabh? Can anybody tell me for Saurabh? Quick, put in the chat. If you someone can tell me for Saurabh, it will be glad. Get it in your mind. Get it in your mind. Put it in the chat. What can be the upper limit and lower limit of R index for Saurabh? Yes, the person. Yes, I marked it here. Very good. Mohit, what you have done, man? How you got a different number? Mohit, your number is wrong. I think you mistook some other number there, right? Okay, anyway, for Saurav, all right, for Saurav, we will take 0 to 75. Therefore, the upper limit is 75. Lower limit is 22 to 75, right? So, which would become 53, all right, which will become 53, right? That's right. Okay. Now, can you do it for Virender? Can you write it for Virender? All of you write it for Virender. Write it for Virender. Quick, quick, quick. Last one, Virender, you write it. Virender, you write it. What is the upper limit and what is the lower limit? There is no one number, it is a range. There are many R indexes possible for each fellow, for each person. Right, 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 right. Okay. So it can be something like this. 0 can be the least score from here, 0 from here, and 130 from here. Therefore, you say that the upper limit of R index can be 130. Upper limit of R index can be 130. Hey, what about the lower limit? It is possible that the scores looked 48, 48, and 130. Is it, can I have a score like 48 against Australia, 48 against South Africa, and 130 against Pakistan? Possible. I can't say that it is impossible. In that case, the R index is difference between 48 and 130. All right, that would become the difference, right? So which will become 82. All right, which would become 82 to 130, right? So in that case, it would become 82 to 130. Beautiful. All right, some of you are doing calculation mistakes. Can I know why? Mohit, why you are giving round up figures, man? 180 to 130. No approximations. We want exact numbers. All right, yeah, these are exact differences. So this calculation approximation not required. Don't round it up. Don't round it up. Why 80 there, right? No rounding up. Okay, fair enough. Any which ways. All right, you understood this. Now let's go to the first question. Now let me open up the first question for you. Yeah. Now open up the first question. Now how beautifully the first question is constructed. Can you type in the answer for the first question? Here is my first question. Can you type the answer for the first question? What you think is the answer for the first question? Okay, Mohit, all right. Typo error, all right, yeah. First question. You answer. What is the choice? Which is the correct choice? Mark it, mark it. Don't hesitate. Right, wrong, doesn't matter. It helps me to sometimes understand your mind. Mark it. All right, good. Okay. Among the players mentioned, who can is a possibility. Can is a possibility. Language skills, right? Now, who can have the lowest R index from the tournament? Can is a possibility. Possible. Is it possible that that person can have a lowest R index? Let's see. Is it possible that Cave can have a lowest R index? How do you do? 5 cases. Cave, Rahul, Saurav, Virender, Yuvraj. 5 cases you should consider. Let me consider. Can Cave have a lowest R index? Can means what? Possibility. I'm talking only a possibility. I'm not talking certainty. I'm not talking certainty. I'm talking only a possibility. Let's say that can Cave have a lowest R index? Let's say Cave scored 23 runs. What about others? Rahul scored 55. You are saying that Rahul scored 55. Right? Saurabh scored 75. Okay. Assume possible. I'm talking about possibility. I'm not talking impossible situation. Is it possible or not? Can means possible. I'm just talking about possible. 75 here. This number 130. This number 87. Is 23 the lowest? Yes. I will take the least for Cave and I will take the best for others and check is this still the smallest number? Yes. Which means Cave can have the lowest possible score. I will put Cave in the picture. Alright, Cave is there. All right, Cave is there for sure. All right, let's go to the second one. Can Rahul be the least scorer? Let me check. Can Rahul be the least scorer? I will take 33 for Rahul now. I will take 33 for Rahul. Then I will start taking the best for others. I will take 51 for this person. I will take 75 for this person. I will take 130 for this person, and I will take 87 for this person. In that case, is 33 the smallest number? Yes, which means it is possible that Rahul can also score less. See, the word is can. You need to be mindful about the grammar. I'm reading fast doesn't mean that you need comprehension, right? You lose comprehension. Absolutely not. Critical reading is not done only in English. Critical reading has to be done throughout the CAT paper. Throughout the CAT paper, every word matters. We need to be mindful about the language. All right, yeah, let's go on. That's about the second one. Rahul is also fine. Now, can I think that, hey, Saurav, is it possible? Is it possible for Saurav? Let us check. Let us check. I will take the least score for Saurav, 53. I will take the best score for them, 1. No, Saurav cannot be. Why? You're already writing 51. 51 is smaller. How 53 can be the smaller? Therefore, Saurav is ruled out. Saurav cannot be. Now, you may say that, sir, check for others, sir. What is the matter checking for others? Doesn't matter. Why should I check for others? Because already when I went to CAF, it failed. Because CAF number is 51, which is less than 53. Even if I take the least number for Saurav, still it failed. Therefore, that doesn't make sense. Okay. So, therefore, you said that Saurav is out. Hey, what about Virender? Is it possible for Virender? Let me check. Virender means I will take 82. Now again I will go back to CAF. I will write the best score. I took the worst score for Virender and I took the best score for CAF. It fails because 51 is less than this. Therefore Virender cannot have the least score. Alright, Virender cannot have the least score. Now let's go to Yuvraj. Let's go to Yuvraj. Hey, what is the score here? 47. I will take 47 for Yuvraj. And I will take the best score for others. 51 here, 55 here, 75 here, 130 here. Is 47 the smaller among all the scores here? Of course, yes. Therefore, you say that for Yuvraj is also fine. So therefore, you'll say CAF is fine, Rahul is fine, Yuvraj is fine. Answer becomes a look. What is that I'm trying to tell? After putting all the effort to find the R index, sometimes we end up marking the wrong answer. That's a blunder. Why sometimes we end up marking the wrong answer? Because of the poor language skills or because of overlooking some of the critical words, right? Critical reading we missed. That should not happen. And people come back and call this as a silly mistake. Come on, correct our language. Let's correct our language skills. Then the silly mistakes won't happen. Let us not brand things under silly mistakes. A lot of people, when they make a mistake, they will brand it under silly mistakes. Please stop branding it under silly mistakes. If we start branding like that, we will never improve. Rather, let us try and understand that why did I make this mistake? Where I went wrong in interpretation. Understand that so that next time onwards, you'll be careful out there. All right. Yeah. Okay. Did it make sense, my friends? Everybody with me? Made sense what I'm talking? Did it make sense what I'm talking? Quickly respond. I hope I'm loud and clear with my thoughts. Right? Yeah, good. Are you all learning something whenever you are coming to the lecture? Is there some transformation? Are you all learning something? Are you all learning something through the course? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Right. Right. All right, guys. So as I said, so I will also be taking some of the special classes and the plus classes. So I've started special classes. I'll be going on to the plus classes as well. So if you have not downloaded the app, already this is the time. Already you can quickly download the app as well. Sometime after the lecture, you download the app. You can see me there. Special classes are free. Special classes are also free. I'll be doing a structured courses on that as well, right? Yeah, if you have not downloaded the app, probably you can download after this lecture. Not liked it, probably this is the time you should take. All right, probably this is the time you should take to like the lecture, because if you have liked it, like the way we are discussing it, it's making some sense to you. You can always put this like there. All right, you can always put that like and share it with others as well. It will be encouraging to learn in good numbers, right? So we can come together, we can build a solid community, we all can improve and we can work it out there. Right, so put that portion whenever you are trying to work anything on the Unacademy. It would be encouraging if you use the code, my code Belvi 100, so that we can co-travel and coexist. All right, yeah. Coming to another question out there, last question on this same set. Try it out. Same set. What do you think is your answer for the last question? I mean, here, third question. We will close with that. Yeah. Try this. This is connected. Let's try this. Now, this question is nothing to do with M index also, R index also. Therefore, if you ask me, this was the sitter. Provided we understand the language well. What do you mean by the sitter? Least effort, maximum result. Least effort to get the good result. That is called as the sitter. Sitters means I don't have to put much effort. but I get a fantastic result. Now look, anybody wanted to do question number 3, they don't have to understand what is R index, what is M index. No understanding is required. Without any understanding, we could have answered the third question. Right, without any understanding, we could have answered the third question. Now listen to me very carefully. All right, yeah, good, you thought something there. Listen to me. How many players among those listed definitely scored less than Yuvraj in the tournament? Right, the question is definitely scored less than Yuvraj in this tournament. What I will do is I will write, all right, definitely scored less than Yuvraj in the tournament. So I will write one side, there will be a score of Yuvraj. Definitely scored less than Yuvraj means what? In the score of Yuvraj should be greater than score of the other person. Definitely scored less than means the score of Yuvraj should be greater than score of the other person. That is the score there. What I will write for Yuvraj? I will write the minimum score for Yuvraj. You may wonder, sir, why minimum, write maximum, sir? No. If you want a definite result, definitely scored for the other person, yeah, of course, it's a total. All right, now, of course, the total score only more. Yes, of course. How many players among these listed scored less than in the tournament? Tournament means what? All 3 matches, right? Tournament, the look at the keyword. What is the keyword here? Tournament. Tournament has all 3 matches, one against Pakistan, one against Australia, one against South Africa. That's a tournament. All right, that's a tournament because this coach sat after the tournament and analyzed this particular result. In the tournament, these are the matches that they played. Now, the most important thing is what? You should take the minimum value for Yuvraj. Why minimum value for Yuvraj? Because definitely other person has definitely scored less. When you want the other person definitely scored less, consider what can be the least possible score for Yuvraj. I will take 0 from here. I will take 40 from here. I will take 87 from here. I will write it as 127. 127 is the minimum score of Yuvraj. This minimum score, if it can be greater than the maximum score of the other person, give the best credit to the other person. Benefit of credit. All right, you give the best benefit to the other person. You score your maximum, man. If your maximum is going to be less than 127, then you score definitely less. Then you score definitely less. That is the catch, which means after understanding this question, this is what should pop up in your mind. This is what we need to train ourselves. How do I understand this statement? After reading this statement, if I fail to read this, which means there is a gap in my understanding. If I'm able to write this, then it is fairly good enough. That's it. Over. Rest of them are the calculation. Okay, let me go there. Let me go to Virender now. Let me check Virender's. Let me check Virender. Virender, look at this 130 plus 48, 48. Forget it. Even if you score on 130, 130, 48, 48 is what I should add. It's maximum. Virender is out. 127 is not greater than Virender's score. All right, let me go to another score. 127 with, let me go to Saurav this time. Let me go to Saurav. Saurav's maximum score, I'm talking about 50 plus 75. Right, which has become 125. 125 plus 22. I will take 22. I will take the best score of the other person. Please remember, I will take the best score. If that best score is left off, that is when I will say that Yuvraj has definitely scored higher, right? Okay, Saurav, I will add 50, this 125 plus 22, all it which becomes 120, 147. 147. No, therefore Saurav is also out because 147 is not less than 127. Yeah, okay. Now, therefore, let's go to Saurav is out. Let's go to the third person now. Let's go to Rahul. 127. I will compare with Rahul's score. So what is Rahul's score? 55 plus 49 plus 22. Right. So let's put this for Rahul here. Right. Okay. So therefore, you are saying that 55 plus 49, 104, 104 plus 22, 126. Okay. Is 126 less than 127? Yes. Which means Rahul is in. All right, this guy is in. Let's go to the last person, Cave. 127. Let's go to the Cave. 51 plus 48, 99 plus this. It is equal to 127. It is equal. It is equal. It is not greater. 127 is equal to 127. Therefore, Cave is also ruled out. Therefore, Kaif is also ruled out. Therefore, only one person, Rahul, is the only person who has definitely scored less than Yuvraj because you took the minimum of Yuvraj and you took the maximum of Rahul. Minimum of Yuvraj is better than the maximum of Rahul means definitely Yuvraj has scored better than Rahul. That is the meaning there. See, look, I'm also telling you that comprehension is very important. More often, people will not be able to answer the question even after generating the data because they don't comprehend the question itself. Because they comprehend it wrong, they will mark the wrong answer and they will say at the end of the test saying that I made a lot of silly mistakes. It is not silly mistakes. It is clearly given attributing credit to comprehension because I've seen many of my students lacking in comprehension. Look at this. First of all, to do this particular question, one don't have to understand the M index and R index. No need to understand any of these technical jargons. Without understanding M index and R index, you could have done this particular question. But where one should have failed, probably they would have misunderstood the question itself to get a different answer. Fair enough. Okay, that is the learnings for today. I hope all of you enjoyed this particular learning. I will see you I'll see you at 10 p.m. with an important lecture on the linear races, most important for CAT. I will see you there, and allow me to do the last announcements before we wind up for the day. So here we go. Live mentoring is available. You can use the code and then avail this facility of live mentoring. And then there are recently some batches launched on the Plus platform. So they have recently launched in the last couple of days. You can take a look at them. And these are some of the trainers solid who are doing a structured course out there. So if you are weak in some area, try and take these structured courses. Limited edition offer especially makes sense if you are appearing for CAT 22. If you take 12 months, you get 3 months of subscription free, 24 months, also 3 months of subscription free. Okay, that's it from my side. Bye bye. Having you, being you here. So nice to have you out here. I will see you back at 10 p.m. tonight. Goodbye till then. Yeah, thanks, Mohit. Bye bye bye, buddy. All right.